reference that we seem to forget to make was that there was also violence in River State. As a matter of fact, the checkpoints that emerged as a result of the violence in River State due to the NSAS protests, some of those checkpoints are still very much active in the part that went violent. Now, for those of you who stay at Oyigbo local government area, where you have your police station, because I remember I drove down there at the time. There was curfew, but I, used my press ID and I was able to drive down to that area, and I saw things for myself. And I remember that the police station was badly damaged. I saw destruction, if I can remember vividly now, what I saw. The roof of the police station building was partially destroyed. Cars were burned. I hear, there was the talk about people dying and people not dying. There was that argument, but I did not have proof. I still don't have proof, even though I went to a particular hospital at the time and I spoke with a doctor and he said people came in with bullet wounds and all of that story at the time. He was rife. And those were the stories. It made the blogs, it made the newspapers, it made news platforms. But it looks like almost 4 years down the line, nobody seemingly remembers what happened in Oyigbo. And so people are protesting. People are saying that, things have not really been fair. Things have not really been good in terms of the economy, in some part, in terms of insecurity. Like, for instance, I told you a while ago, in Niger State, the protest has already begun. Yes, you have been right. They're already protesting against the state of things in the country. And so today I want you and I to talk. I don't think I want to talk for long. I may not even have what to say for that long. But I want to ask the question, do you think we need to protest in River State? Do we need to embark on the protest? Are things really as terrible in River State? I'm wondering and I'm asking. For instance, I don't think that petrol scarcity has hit us as much as it has hit Lagos, right? I don't think, and when I say I don't think, I'm not saying you shouldn't protest. I'm just, trying to stir up an argument, a debate rather, so we can talk and learn from both sides of the argument. Now, sometime last week, I remember, Evans BP, the caretaker committee chairperson of Ogbolo local government area, said that there would be no protesting in that local government area. He said because, the local government was doing all that it needed to do in terms of cushioning the effect of the economic downturn. If I remember vividly, I think in Okrika as well, if my memory remembers vividly. Today in the news, once again, going back to the 6 a.m. bulletin, the Kana CTC chairman or chairperson also mentioned that there would be no protest in his domain. And the story reads, the chairman caretaker committee of Kana, local government area of River State, Marvin Yobana, has warned that his administration will not allow the planned nationwide protests to take place in Kana. Mr. Yobana made the call while presenting cards to members of his caretaker committee and some principal officers of Kana Council. I'm going to play the soundbite so you can hear for yourself what he said.
We also have an information that there's a planned protest nationwide. I use this opportunity to say that the CTC of Kana local government, we are not a party to it because the governor has told us to support the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President, and which we are supporting. So we are not protesting against Tinubu. Those who are orchestrating or planning to protest against Tinubu, they know their plans. But we are not going to allow that protest take place in Kana local government.
All right, so you heard him there. He said the governor told the CTCs, which of course are his people, that they would not protest against the renewed hope agenda. So they are in line. And of course, you and I have heard before the whole protest gained momentum and all, we had the governor, I think it was even part of a big story 2 weeks ago, where the governor said something about asking Rivers people to key into the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So would you be partaking in the protest? Because remember, some of you are divided along political lines. You call yourself the same movement, the others call themselves the GDI. They are the people who are in the APC, who are for the governor and who are for the president. I mean, Rivers State is polarized when it comes to politics. And so the question is, now that for those of you who support the governor, you hear things like the governor is saying, I mean, he has not directly said it, I'm just quoting what your banner said. Now that and I do really wish the Information Commissioner, Joe Johnson was here, it would have been a clearer picture, right? And we would have known what to do. Remember earlier, I played a sound clip by the Rivers Police Commissioner where he claimed readiness. Take a listen.
Thank you very much. That's a concern to us. It's an information that is everywhere for everybody to see. We have been having meetings with a lot of our stakeholders, very, very important stakeholders in the community. We had some meetings, and more meetings have been slated for tomorrow and then Monday. On the side of the police, our men have been prepared. We have talked to them again and again. Most importantly, we know we don't want it to be the situation of we versus them. We are all in this together. We have been having wonderful partnership with a lot of people, a lot of groups in this state. So we don't expect it to be different now. The officers have been told what to do. We have withdrawn our men from essential duties. We have talked to them. They have been trained again and again. We are ready to hold any situation that brings itself to us in the state.
All right, so that's the perspective or the stance of the Rivers Police Command. So they're not hostile, they're not aggressive to the protest, just like the last time. However, things turned violent at Oigbo a few days after the NSAS protest started. So the question is, do we really need to protest in Rivers State? It's a very genuine question, right? Do we really need to protest in Rivers State, or do we need to go to the drawing board, stop all the polarization and politicking and come together and see how we can better our lives? Do you want to support the governor in supporting the president? What other question do I want to ask? If you're a parent, would you want your youth, your child, to go out there on the streets and dance and gyrate and to the protest? I'm wondering, you as a youth, would you be out there? Would you want to go do? Because the people at the helm of affairs are trying their best. They're doing everything they can. I'm not speaking. They're doing everything they can to stop the protest. You heard what Akpabio just said. It is your right to protest, but it is also the right of the government to preserve governance, so that you don't sabotage governance. So it's I wonder why